What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Aiden here, and in this video I'm gonna take a little bit of time and do a little story time with Aiden. And that's pretty much because New Year's Eve was very eventful as far as being transgender and trying to use a public bathroom. And I thought I should share this story with y'all because I feel like something really awesome happened out of a really traumatic experience. So I feel like maybe we should try to be a little optimistic and show kind of like, you know, I called it like the Bando brothers, right? I just want to share this story with you guys because it was very emotional at first, and then it really had this beautiful ending that I wanted to share with y'all. So let's jump into it. Alright, so let's get comfortable because we're gonna have a little bit of a longer video just because we're gonna do a little story time here. New Year's Eve, right? Lots of people go out, celebrate. Jaylee and I have been trying to make more friends here in our town, and we got invited by a couple to go out to a kind of like a cider brewery, okay? And the woman, it's a straight couple, and the boyfriend was doing the lighting and stuff for these bands that were playing for the night. And so we love live music, and we went and watched. And so it was like a cider place, and so they had no real heavy hard alcohol, no beer, it was just all cider, which is awesome. I really like cider, Jane Lee likes cider. We were, you know, having a drink or two and dancing a little bit. Not gonna lie, I didn't love the bands, but I'm okay, I can say that, because her boyfriend wasn't in the band, he just did the lighting. I didn't love the bands, but in between, the DJ, whoever was the DJ, put on really good dance music. So we were dancing in between the bands. And so, you know what happens, when you drink any liquid, especially an alcoholic beverage, you have to pee a lot, right? it just happens. They always say, you break the seal, right? So, you're drinking, and then, you go pee, and then, from then on, you've got to pee pretty much every time, every hour you've got to pee. So that's kind of what had happened, right? So I was, going to break the seal, and I went over to the bathroom, and I noticed that the bathroom was super not cool place at all. It pretty much was this one single door, and there was two lines forming out of the door because, you know, it was crowded, and there was two sinks, and so the two sinks were shared, and then the men's room, the women's room was on this side, and the men's room was on this side, and so you had, you know, the women lining up here and the men lining up here. But I don't understand why companies or businesses do this to people. Nobody wants to pee in front of other people. Nobody wants to poo in front of other people. Nobody wants to see you wipe your ass. These are not things that we want to do or be subject to when we use the restroom. We just want to go and pee. And this is everybody. This is not just trans people. This is every person you talk to. And so these stalls were extremely uncomfortable. So it was it wasn't a stall, first of all. It was just you walked to the, so I went to the men's room, right? So you go to the left, you wait online to the left, and you look in and you just see two toilet bowls with one, literally, it was probably this long, this wide, of a divider between the two toilet bowls. Then there was a third toilet bowl with this curtain that literally barely went past your waist. So you could see the person sitting with their pants down. You could see half of their ass. Granted, I have to sit down to pee, so I didn't want to just use the one with absolutely no door, no stall. I didn't want to use that toilet, so I was waiting online and waiting online and waiting online to use this other one. Now, unfortunately, when people drink a lot, they can get sick, and where's the place you go to get sick? Besides outside is in the toilet, in the bathroom. So somebody was getting sick in the only toilet that I could use. And my wife, Jenny Lee, was on the women's line. So I was looking at her, and I went over to her, and I went behind her, and I was I don't even care. I'm just going to use the women's restroom, and if someone has a problem, then I'll just tell them that I'm transgender, and that I can't use that restroom because it's disgusting. Because I was kind of annoyed, upset. I felt you know, you just feel outcasted because out of every person there, everyone else can go to the bathroom in peace except for you. And so it's just what the hell, right? So I'm waiting online, and no joke, every person that passed by me, every dude that passed by me looked at me and then was bro, you can go in here. And I was I'm good. And then they would insist, no bro, you can go in here. And I was I'm good. You know what I mean? And that happened twice with 2 guys that passed by me. Then there was this woman behind me. Now, I don't want to speculate if she was gay, straight, whatever, but, you know, she seemed like eclectic, okay? She didn't seem like your stereotypical, like, very straight edge person, okay? And she just, like, she legit, like, tapped me on the shoulder and was like, why aren't you using the men's room? And I was like, oh, I'm not comfortable, I'm just gonna wait here. And she was like, well, why not? Why aren't you using the men's room? And I just thought it was so interesting because a part of me would normally just be like, because I'm transgender, that's why I'm not using the men's room. It's disgusting in there, and there's no stalls, and the only bathroom that was there, someone was vomiting in, okay? And then I, like, thought to myself, like, this is so interesting. I turned to Jenny Lee, and I was like, this is so interesting. Like, 2 different dudes have, like, commented on me standing in line for the bathroom, right? Because who cares? Like, what if I wasn't even peeing? What if I was just standing in front of, with Jenny Lee while she went to the bathroom, was gonna wait for her, and then come back out, right? People do that. And then I thought it was even more interesting that this woman behind me kept insisting and wondering why. And because she was wondering why, I didn't want to tell her, right? Because I just wanted her, I wanted to, like, break her gender system of, like, why is this man on the blah, 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 you know what I mean? Like, all of those thoughts. So I was like, I'm not even going to tell her that I'm trans because I don't think it's necessary. Like, I don't know, I felt like I didn't want to at that time. Now, I'm very open and I come out all the time, but for some reason in that moment I just thought this is a really interesting gender dynamic around bathrooms, and I kind of want to push the envelope a little bit and see how people react. So by the time I went to get up to the bathroom, the other men's room, nobody was online, nobody was in there, so I was like, whatever, everyone's been looking at me weird sitting on this line anyway. So Jane Lee goes to use the bathroom, I go to use the men's room, and I just couldn't. Like, I went in there, I, like, was the janitor, and I cleaned up everything so that I could use the toilet safely. I just, like, because you could see the curtain only went to here and you could see everything, like, I just was very uncomfortable. And so I tried to, like, I went in there, I closed the curtain, I was just like, okay, you can do this, you can do this. But I couldn't do it, like, I just couldn't do it. So I walked out, Jane Lee was already done, she was like, okay, how you doing? Like, you know, she asked me what happened, and I was like, I didn't go because I can't go here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, like, where am I supposed to go? I almost went and asked somebody who worked there, like, I'm transgender, do you have a more private bathroom I can use? I almost, like, went outside in the, like, behind the dumpster or whatever to pee there, and then I went back, so like maybe 5 minutes go by, but I really gotta pee. So I go back, I see this guy, and I know that he's trans because I was introduced to him earlier, and he seems like a really dope dude. Like, we had a little conversation, it was cool. He seemed really chill, and I see him exactly where I just was, on the women's line, just like this, just like straight up, just like hands folded, tight, just like this. Just like, and I could just having been in that exact same position, I knew exactly what he was feeling. Like, and this guy, he doesn't have a beard or anything. It looks like he's on T. I don't want to assume, but he looked like he may have started hormones. But, you know, he passes, you know what I mean? He looks like a man. So it was just like, what, you know, like, I could just tell that he just felt so fucking uncomfortable on that line. And I noticed that there was only one person in the men's, like, area with the 3 toilets or whatever. And so I had to pee, and he had to pee, and I was like, this is it. Like, band of brothers, like, we're doing this. So I just called him, like, Cash, come here. And he looked at me, he was like, and I could just tell, like, when he saw my face, it was just like, oh, yes, oh my God, you're gonna save me. And I was like, come over here. And I was like, listen, I'm like, I really have to pee too. And he's like, I know, I can't go in there. I was like, me either. I'm like, listen, so, I'm like, you stand here, okay? I'm gonna go use the bathroom. You stand here, like, right in the entrance. I'm like, you stand here, and if someone asks, just say I'm waiting to use the curtain, you know what I mean? And then no one's gonna, like, think twice because there's already a line for it, right? So he did that, and I was like, and when you go, I'll do the same thing, right? So then when he went, so I went, thank God, I finally peed, took forever because I had to pee so bad. Then he went, and I stood out there, and someone was like, oh, you know, you can go, right? Because there was 2 empty toilets. People love to tell you what you can do, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see that there's 2 empty toilets, and I'm just standing here. Like, I don't know, whatever. So I was just like, oh, I'm waiting for the curtain, and he was like, okay, and he walked past me, right? And then Cash comes out, and we were just like, you know, band of brothers, like, thank God that we had each other, because I would have had to, like, feel like crap having to go behind the dumpster, or I would have felt like just really, I mean, I don't mind using a women's room, but I mean, it's hard. Like, you know, it just reminds me of a lot of things that I have insecurities about with my body. And to be in a restroom that really focuses on the fact that, like, I need a stall and I need to sit down and I don't use an STP, which is a standing to pee device. Like, I don't use those things. So I need privacy and I need a safe place to, like, drop trowel, right? You know, I mean, we're all human and we all compare ourselves to each other, and, you know, we all want things in our lives that maybe we don't have, and maybe it's a body part like me, or maybe it's just something else in your life, you know? But I just thought it was really amazing, honestly, to have this really shitty situation, because I felt really crappy. You know what I mean? It's really easy to get down on yourself when you feel outcasted and when you feel like you're the only one who has this issue, you know? But then when I saw Cash and I was like, I'm really insecure, but we can help each other. Like, I threw him like a lifeboat, you know, one of those like lifesaver things, and reeled him in, right? And then as I was kind of drowning, and he kind of helped me up too, you know? And so I just thought it was really cool that, like, we came together. We were probably, at least to our knowledge, the only two transgender males there. You know, it just felt really nice to have that community. I think that is something that us as a transgender community need to do a little more often. If you're a trans guy or a trans woman and you see someone struggling in the restroom to use the bathroom, or like, you know, if you see someone like checking their chest all the time to make sure they're flat, or like, you know, like just go out and lend that person a hand. Give that, like, you know, say like, don't worry bro, like, I'll stand out here, you're good. You know what I mean? Like, I got your back. Like, yeah, and you know, me and Cash didn't like hang out the whole rest of the night. It wasn't like some big to do, but it was really important that we had each other in that exact moment, because if we didn't, our nights could have been totally opposite. Like, I could have probably went down a spiral of how shitty that was, and he was about to use the women's room, which he just, you know, like, he's young in his transition, like, it's hypersensitive then. I'm telling you, like, the look on this kid's face waiting online was really, really tough. I just wanted to share that story with y'all because I thought it was so important to remember that even though things can be really shitty, it's really just how we approach them. I was taking on the responsibility to find a safe space myself, right? When all I really needed to do was reach out to the other trans guy that I had met maybe 20 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes earlier, and been like, hey dude, I'm sorry to ask you, but can you come to the bathroom with me? Like, I just don't feel comfortable, you know? But it just didn't, you know, because I wasn't thinking about the community that way, like, you know, coming together like that, I wasn't thinking like, oh, this guy will help me out, you know? And then when I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, like, that is the answer. We can help each other out. We went to the bathroom, and then Jane Lee was like, how'd it go? And I was like, actually, it was really awesome. Like, I found a community, you know what I mean? And one person, you know, but I found a community, and it supported me the entire night. And me and Cash, we supported each other, you know, and it was just a really beautiful, awesome thing that I think can happen more and more and more and more if we just put ourselves out there a little bit. I told him I was insecure about using the restroom, and that the only reason I was back there and saw him online was because I'd already tried to use the bathroom twice. So it was just really cool to, like, have that connection and share that with each other. And then I really think it made both of our nights so much better, because we had this cloud that had potential, like, downpouring rain on us, and then we were just like, all of a sudden, like, the sun came out. We were like, let's, like, get a tan. So yeah, it was a really great night after that. Then we went to the queer bar, which is always great because everybody's cool there, and the bathrooms are totally cool. They're all single stalls and all that, and we danced the night away, and it was a really good new year. And I hope you guys all had a good, happy new year. So if there's one thing that will come, like, from this video, it's like, when you see somebody who's struggling with something that you struggle with too, lend a hand. It doesn't have to be a big to-do. You don't have to save this person's whole world, save their life, blah, 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 but, like, just lend a hand, because you know what? They might take you up on it. And that is when real awesome magic can happen. Because to a cis person who has no idea what I'm going through, they might think that this is really not a big deal. They go to the bathroom with their friends all the time. But this is a big deal. And we came together, and it was really amazing and really cool. And I got to pee in a safe space. It wasn't safe, but we made it safe for each other, and that was really, really dope. Cash, if you're watching this, thank you, brother. I really appreciate you. You saved me that night. I hope that I was able to help you out too. So, like, if y'all get an opportunity to help someone, just help them. All right, guys, catch you in the next one. Peace.